So you hear a lot about Japanese real estate, right? But is it actually booming or is it a bust? Well, the truth is, it's not that simple. It's almost like a tale of two completely different markets playing out at the exact same time. And today, we're going to dig into the latest macro data to really uncover this deep divide in Japan's property landscape.
So if you're an investor looking at Japan, I bet you're asking yourself, what is really going on over there? Are prices up? Are they down? Is now the right time to get in? We're here to cut through all that noise and get straight to the data so you can see the whole picture for yourself.
All right, let's just get right to it. The main thing you need to know is this. There isn't one Japanese real estate market right now. There are two. And, getting your head around this split, this polarization, well, it's absolutely crucial for any investor looking at Japan. So here's how we're going to break it down in this explainer. First, we'll look at the polarizing market itself. Then we'll check out the residential side of things, followed by what's happening with offices. We'll ask if this boom is even for real, and finally wrap it all up from an investor's point of view. Let's get into it.
Okay, section 1, a polarizing real estate market. It really isn't one market, it's two completely different stories. Let's prove it by jumping straight into the official government data.
So where are we getting our info? It's all coming from the official Real Estate Price Index. This is a monthly report from Japan's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, or MLIT for short. This thing is the bedrock of our analysis because it tracks property prices all the way back to 2010. That gives us a really solid long-term look at what's been happening. All right, now let's talk about the residential market. Because honestly, this is where that huge divide we've been talking about just becomes crystal clear. The gap between what's happening with condos and detached houses, it's pretty wild. So we're looking at two basic types of homes here, right? Condominiums, which you'll hear called mansion in Japan, and on the other hand, you've got detached houses, or kodate jutaku. And let me tell you, their stories could not be more different right now. Okay, first up, condominiums. The latest price index for them is a whopping 218.6. So what does that number even mean? It means that on average, condo prices have more than doubled since 2010. That's a huge, incredible surge. And now, let's look at detached houses. The index there, it's just 118.5. I mean, the difference is just night and day. While condo prices have gone to the moon, detached home values have barely budged over that same time. This right here is that polarization we're talking about, in black and white. So the key takeaway here is that all this growth is super concentrated. When you really dig into the data, what you find is that condominiums, specifically in the Tokyo area, are hands down the strongest asset class. We're talking 12 straight months of price increases. That is where all the action is happening. And this whole trend isn't just happening in the residential space. Let's pivot to commercial real estate for a second. We're seeing another really surprising, really powerful trend here, the big comeback of the office sector. And this chart just shows that split perfectly. Look at this. In just one quarter, office property values jumped by a massive 7.7%. At the same time, retail properties actually dropped by 1.9%. It's another crystal clear sign that you can't just buy the market anymore. You have to be laser focused on the right assets within that market. So why is this happening? Well, for the last few years, the big story everywhere was that remote work was going to kill the office for good. But in Japan, that fear is really fading away. More and more companies are calling people back to the office, and because of that, investor confidence is surging. Money is flowing back into those prime office assets. Okay, so we've got these soaring prices in some very specific spots. But, any smart investor is going to ask the next logical question. Is this just on paper, or are people actually closing deals at these crazy high prices? Let's look at the transaction data and see if this boom is the real deal.
And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing for asking prices to be high, but if nobody's actually buying, it's just a hollow boom. So the big question is, are deals actually happening?
And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. I mean, look at this number. According to the REINS network, that's the official database that tracks every real estate contract across the country, the number of deals for existing condos jumped by over 41% compared to the same time last year. That is a massive increase in actual real-world activity. So what does this tell us? It tells us that these hot parts of the market are super liquid. These aren't just fantasy prices. They're being backed up by a huge number of actual deals and really strong real buyer demand. All right, we've thrown a lot of data at you. So let's kind of pull it all together and boil it down to a clear, actionable perspective. For anyone watching this market, what are the key takeaways? What does this all mean for an investor? Well, the data is pointing to 3 very specific keywords. If you're looking for where the real growth and capital gains are, you need to be thinking condominiums, Tokyo, and offices. It's condos because their prices have doubled, it's Tokyo because that's the epicenter of it all, and it's offices because they are seeing a huge comeback in investor confidence.
And this brings us to probably the most important point of this whole explainer. You know that old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats? Well, that is just not true for Japanese real estate today. Not anymore. You have to be selective. You've got to pick the right boat. Otherwise, you risk getting stuck in the stagnant parts of the market.
So really, the big question for any investor isn't just if you should invest in Japan. The real question is where. In a market that's so clearly split, understanding these trends and being super selective, well, that's everything. Hey, if you found this deep dive into the data helpful for your own analysis, do us a favor and hit that like button. And of course, make sure you subscribe for more data-driven explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.